Hello and welcome to the video. This is a video about this thing here. This is the new DarwinFPV BabyAPE II Freestyle FPV drone, available in both 4S and 6S setups. Now it came out on about the 21st of May. I've had mine in a couple of weeks and I've had a chance to put it through its paces. So I thought I'd make a video and let you know what it's like. Now, DarwinFPV are known for ready-to-fly kit that's aimed at pilots looking for a more cost-effective setup. Lots of ready-to-fly kits these days are very expensive. Amazingly, this thing, if you don't buy it with any batteries or receiver, is only about $140. But if you want to, you can order it with batteries and a receiver, and that bumps up the price a little bit. Available in analog and digital HD versions with both 6S and 4S setups. I've got the 4S version here, or you could even actually buy it with a ready-to-fly setup that comes with goggles and a radio too. Now while I unbox it, let me go through the specs. Again, this is a really nice ready-to-fly quad for about $140. This again is the BabyAPE II 3.5-inch freestyle FPV drone. It has a wide X frame, wheelbase is about 156 millimeters, dimensions are 126 by 150 by 50 millimeters. Flight controller inside this is an F411 flight controller with an MPU 6500. Has a couple of connectors on here for S-Bus on UART1. There are another two UARTs on here, as well as two soft serials. It does come wired for an S-Bus receiver for UART1. I installed an Express LRS receiver onto UART1 and set it up for CRSF inside the settings, and it worked beautifully. The ESC below that is running BlueJ 3 to 6S capable, 30 amps, and the camera on this one, I've got the analog one here, which is a Darwin Cement waterproof camera, 600 milliwatt VTX at the back. The HD version, if you get that, that's a little bit more expensive, but that comes with the Runcam Link Wasp. Motors on the 4S version are 1504 3600 kV, on the 6S they're 1504 2300 kV, and the propeller are HQ Prop T3.5 by 2 by 3. And you only get one set in the box unless you order them separately. Recommended battery for this is a 4S LiPo, 650 to 850 milliamp hours. I've been flying mine on a 650, or if you're a 6S pilot, then you're going to want a 500 to 650 milliamp hour pack. DarwinFPV reckon you can get about 13 minutes hovering time out of a 4S 850 milliamp hour battery. I think that is very much the upper case. Realistically, I think 8 minutes flight time is probably more what you're going to get. The weight is nice and low though. With the analog version in particular, you can easily get under 250 grams with a battery. In terms of how it's set up, plugged it into Betaflight, everything's powered including the receiver, which is handy for binding a setup, and there's nothing too exciting in the Betaflight setup here at all. Sadly, it isn't running Betaflight 4.4, but the tune and configuration makes it fly really nicely. Again, by default, it is set up for S-Bus, so if you are going to fly this, I imagine lots of pilots will be adding Express LRS onto this. Just put it onto the UART1 pads, which are at the front of the flight controller at the top, making it quite easy to pop those on. And in here, the only things you're really going to have to play with is change the mode tabs to the way that you want it, and also change the on-screen display layout to be the way that you want it to. I have copied the settings into your standard dump and default files. I'll put a link down below if you want to go and have a look, or you've managed to make a mess of yours if you have one. In terms of the flying, I was really interested about that because it is hovering just under 50% throttle. It's branded as a freestyle quad, and usually freestyle quads have a little bit more power than that. They usually are hovering a lower throttle to give them enough punch to get in and out of problems, and having a little bit more power is handy when you're flying over the top of trees or obstacles. You can just blip the throttle and you will easily sail over the top. However, it flies incredibly well. The noise is lower than expected with that 3.5-inch prop diameter. I really like the 3.5, 4-inch prop sizes for these kind of pocket rockets, and the endurance is good. I'm getting, with spirited flying, only about 5 to 6 minutes from a 650 milliamp 4S pack here. If I was flying in a more sedate way, I may get a little bit longer, but I'm getting nowhere near the advertised 13 minutes flight time that's on the website. Setup is nice and it is very stable and fun to fly, and the camera performance is okay. There's a little bit of noise in the image, and the wide dynamic range is struggling sometimes when I'm flying in bright conditions. It seems to be exposing for the sky and leaving the ground very dark. The default camera angle is quite aggressive, so it does mean that you do want to fly nice and quickly. Overall, it's a very fun thing to fly, capable of flips and rolls, even with that slightly lower power setting. If you are just cruising around, or you want something that's very versatile that can do lots of different jobs, including do a little bit of flippy floppy, this seems to be able to do most of that. So there's a lot to like about this little new quadcopter from Darwin FPV. The first and foremost is the price point. $140 for this is not a bad price at all. I do like the fact there's 4S and 6S versions available. I do like the fact that if you have laws in your country where being under 250 gram makes a difference, you can absolutely do that. The frame fit and finish is very good, and there's lots of room behind the flight controller for other stuff, including things like your receiver, but also room if you wanted to add stuff like HD systems or upgrade or tweak things in the future. I also like the fact that the LEDs on the arms are there. They are different colours front and back, and they only come on when the quad is flying. So on the bench, when you plug it in, they don't come on, but when you arm it, they do. They're not super bright, so you can't really see them in the sunshine, but in darker conditions, they're nice and bright and will help you find the quad. Be aware that it is wired for S-Bus from the factory, so if you want to put something like Express LRS on here, you'll desolder those pads and pop on your receiver, and that works absolutely fine. And there is a built-in Express LRS antenna holder. Here at the front, this yellow piece of plastic that's kind of a chin guard is actually designed to take your Express LRS antenna. Unfortunately, the receiver that I had didn't quite fit in there, so that's why I've mounted mine vertically at the back. But that really shows that they're thinking about the modern components that people will be adding to this, and providing a neat place to put it well out of the way of the props. Being so small, there isn't really a place for an action camera. I don't think it would support that extra weight very well either. Camera performance is okay on this analog camera that I'm flying with here, but it's nothing special. And there's only a linear antenna installed on the VTX. It would have been nice to have a little circular polarized on here. So if you're going to fly this and you want to get the best possible reception, popping a linear antenna and a linear patch on your goggles would be your best bet. And the other thing as well is, unless you order them specifically, you only get one set of props in the kit. I would potentially have a spare set just for those times when you bounce off something. Overall, this is another very nice quad from Darwin FPV at a very decent price. It's not a hard freestyle model, but it's very capable of flying smoothly, quickly, and can do basic flippy floppy as well. It has enough power to perform basic flips and rolls easily, so if you're looking for something to buy that isn't going to break the bank, that's a good all-rounder, that's built well, that flies really nicely, then this one I would definitely take a look. Thank you for watching the video. If you watch my videos and find them useful, then please take a moment to hit the like and subscribe button. It helps the channel a lot. If you really like what I'm doing here, you can become a Patreon and support the time I spend helping others and get access to lots of exclusive benefits. Link is in the video description. Remember that all the videos on the channel are organized into playlists, so you can easily use those playlists to find all the videos on a subject that you are interested in. Add Painless 360 to your searches on Google and YouTube, and it'll help you find my content for any particular topic. Thanks again for watching, and as always, happy flying.